The man you're about to meet is famous in the UK and beyond. And while London is his home, he was born in Nigeria, where he lived the first 9 years of his life.
Muyiwa Olarewaju has been the host of CBN's TPI program since 2010. Here we go. He's also a famous British gospel singer, songwriter, and radio host. A native Nigerian, Muyiwa was sent to London at age 9 in hopes of a better life. Instead, he experienced instability, chaos, and trauma. The one place he felt loved was at church. In 2020, after years of success in music, Muyiwa was appointed Officer of the Order of the British Empire for his service to music.
Please welcome to the 700 Club the host of CBN's TPI program and much more, Muyiwa Olarewaju. It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
You were saying in all the years that you've come here and been doing this, this is your first time in this studio.
I'm telling you, the TPI folks, they've kept me in the corner. They kept me in the cupboard.
Sequestered.
They didn't want me to see the luscious parts of the house.
Well, we're so glad to have you with us today. You have had so many awards and you have done so many remarkable things. And you are I had to read this because I don't know what this is. You're the first Christian artist appointed Officer of the Order of the British Empire.
Yeah, so the Queen, the late Queen, have generations before, the family had set an order in place where the Crown would award people for their services to the nation, and it was extended to the arts. Now, in our country, in the UK, I mean, there are different levels. There's the MBE, Member of the British Empire. There's the OBE, which I got. There's the CBE, which is high, and then there's knighthood and all the rest.
Did she actually award it to you?
So it was during the COVID period, so she was rather sick.
Everybody was.
But I'd had the opportunity to meet her a few times and her son. So it was the future king who awarded it to me, and it was quite an experience.
Just as wonderful, yes.
It was
well, you are still so active in music, in performance, and for 15 years you've been doing our Turning Point International program. Your audience is vast.
It's an interesting one. It's vast, and I think I've become more vast in that time because I was slimmer when I started. now suck in the stomach every time.
I understand, Muyiwa.
No, there is no way, Terry. You can understand. I will tell you that. But you know, you travel to places in Africa or even in the Caribbean, and I mean, recently I went to Nigeria because my brother had passed away sadly, and I went to a church, to one of their mega churches to sing, and as I sat there, people were walking past and going, "Are you Turning Point?" I said, "No, I'm Muyiwa." So when I got on stage and I said to the audience, and this is a church with 10,000 members or so, I said, "How many of you watch Turning Point?" I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
It is quite encouraging, especially when you hear the stories people tell that, I was sick, or I was a Muslim and gave my life to Christ, a Turning Point. Or those who say, I used to watch you as a 7-year-old and, now I'm older. It's all very encouraging.
Let's go back further, not further than 7, but a little bit after that in your life, because God has taken you on such a journey. You were born in Nigeria. There until 9, your parents sent you to London really for protection, but it was a hard time in your life. Talk about that. It
was, I mean, every parent, they make their decisions the best they know to do. My parents made a decision, and the interesting thing, the person that was in charge of the nation when my parents made the decision they did was General Buhari, who was the last president. And under him, Nigeria went through tumultuous times with economic hardships, which is what my parents experienced. So they sent us to the UK, sent me to the UK, and getting there, it was living with one. It's horrible. I would never have imagined what I was walking into, because I lived a nice middle-class life.
Yes,
and then here I am in London. No mother, no father. Uncles I lived with weren't really my uncles. They were just people you stopped with, and being kicked out by one and the other. And it was it was said that I was the best kid in the family, but I was just surplus to people's ability to cope. And I remember one uncle kicking me out, walking on the streets of London with my bag. I'm a 12-year-old. And even now when I think about it, it makes me shudder. The bag burst and I start to cry. And the streets of London, they're vicious. I mean, people just carried on walking. And I cried even more thinking, because I felt...
There's nobody.
I felt invisible. I felt unloved. I felt all those things. But this was the hope my parents had, that I would find life, and here was finding brokenness. But thank God for Jesus and the body of Christ. It's been a saving grace.
Well, it's such an incredible story to me of something, of your parents doing what they thought was best, it becoming such a negative situation for you. I mean, really, for a child, all of that lack of belonging, lack of acceptance, lack of identity. And yet, God used it all, just as he promises in Romans 8:28. He used it all, and here you are today, singing, performing, sharing Jesus with vast audiences of people. Do you look back on it and see God's hand through it all, even when you didn't know it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you know God, and I encourage someone watching this, if you don't know Jesus and all you can see is trauma, once you know God, it makes sense.
Yes.
You may not be able to, but it makes sense, because a younger brother of mine, Travis Green, has a song called Made Away. When you tell the story of the song, we sing it and we get real high in church. The story of the song is quite a hard story. But so for me, I can say we're standing here only because he made it. He moved mountains. He caused walls to fall, walls of depression, walls of rejection, walls of heartbreak. God caused that to fall. But I had to know him first, because without knowing him, none of it would have made sense.
Once you know him, it's holy ground.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you for being with us today. I just want to ask all of you at home, pray for him, because he has such a tremendous God opportunity to speak to people about the love of God. And we just are so grateful that you're doing that with CBN's Turning Point and all the other avenues God's open. God bless you.
And thank you for letting me wear my purple.
Yeah, we require it. Bless you, my friend. Thank you for coming.